Gentlemen and distinguished guests, I want to welcome and introduce you to Mr. Victor Woods. Let's give him a round of applause as he comes forward. Let's give him a round of applause. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing? I want to thank Mr. Payne. I want to thank Mr. Peoples. I want to thank all the distinguished gentlemen that are here from law enforcement. I want to thank all the dignitaries. I want to thank my executive director. I want to thank my agent, Pamela, and everybody here that has made this happen on the technical side. Let me just start by saying a couple things. Do we have those pictures? Because you know, it's been a while, and I know that they said I had been to prison for 10 years. Young men in the back. See, there's no good seat here. See, it's been a while since I've done a speaking engagement where I've seen so many young black young men not paying attention. That's a problem. That's a problem. Because see, when that riot happened down at Ferguson, I drove all the way by myself. Got the pictures, I want to share them with you. And let me just tell you what I do, because I'm from Chicago. Excuse me. Everybody that I see talking when I'm talking, I'm just going to bring you down here and set you next to the police officers here. When I speak in Chicago around the country, you know what I call it? Penitentiary Row. And I'm not talking to everybody here, but I'm talking to the ones that aren't listening. And let me just tell you what I'm passionate about. Because see, I'm a little bit used to this. The last funeral in Chicago, let me see how funny you think this is. And the one that lasts is the one I want up here. See, this girl here, her name was Frances Cologne. Young black girl. 18 years young in Chicago. It's funny to you? 18 years young. She went and saw the president in Chicago. She came home. She sat with her mother and father. They didn't have a lot of money, poor people. I did not know her. She told her mother, she said, I want to go and have a pop. Her mom said, I want one. Two young black strong men made a mistake, were arguing with each other about nothing. Pulled out a gun, shot at each other, but we missed. I never met a black boy in my life that wanted to kill a black girl, ever. Because we don't do that, never once. But we don't know how to shoot. So they're shooting at each other and shot her in the head. She's dead. I did not know her. Young man, I did not know her. I went to her funeral, spoke at the funeral. When they lowered the body into the ground, her mother said, I can't stand it. Victor, can you stay? I couldn't sleep for 3 days. Tired of it. Drove all the way in from Chicago last night, went to bed at 4 last night, got up at 6. Just left Myrtle Beach, where I was speaking for 4 days, to come and see you. Mr. Payne and Mr. Peoples went through a lot of trouble to do this. I love everybody in this room. I fight for you everywhere I go. I've been to every single penitentiary in Illinois speaking, and got 10 years in the penitentiary. I'm on American Gangster, BET's American Gangster with Larry Hoover. Retired. Went to federal prison because I wouldn't tell on anybody. And I'll be darned if I'm going to come in here. Young man, you, come on down here, right there, you.
Let's go. Come on down.
No. I don't need any help. You, right here. No. Wait a minute. See, what's going on right now is we're stuck on stupid. This is not funny when I have to pull somebody out, because this is exactly why young people die. The exact same reason, excuse me, because I'm coming to get you. Excuse me. We're going to get it together in here, because you know what? I have more confidence, I have more confidence in most of you than what I'm seeing by some immature people who just don't know how to act. I'm going to tell you how to stay out of the penitentiary. I'm going to tell you how to become a millionaire. And for those that want to listen, see, everybody in this room is not going to make it. It's been a while since I've had to do a speaking engagement like this, but see, I speak in maximum security prisons where they have a shotgun on my audience. I don't have to yell and scream at anybody. Somebody walks up to me, 18 years old, and says, Mr. Woods, last time I was at Statefield, they had a loaded shotgun on the audience. Oh, Mr. Woods, I heard you speak at my school. I have 85 years. See, it's not funny when you pull that trigger, you get in trouble, and one of these people have to arrest you. You got to call your mama. When I was 15, 16 years old, I was stealing $60,000 every weekend, had one of the biggest armed robbery rings in the history of Chicago as a kid. Most of you don't even know what that kind of money is. You don't want to be in trouble. I had to put up $100,000 of bond money to pay somebody so I didn't get a life sentence. Some of you and most of you in this room are smart, but some of us are not. And I suggest the ones that are not and stuck on stupid, separate yourself from them, because you won't be successful if you're not a leader. And you can start right now, because some of us in this room came to school without $5 in their pocket. Now don't laugh, son. Don't laugh, son. That's why this little girl here, she's dead. Paulette Peach, she's dead. She would, excuse me. And you know what, my brother? Come on up. You right here. Young man, I'm talking to you. 9 years old. Her crime was she went to the grocery store, asked her aunt if she could get a candy bar. Bullet came through from a young black boy, 18 years old. She's shot in the head, dead. You know why you don't know? Because she was poor and black. Because we don't pay attention. I don't know what's going on in this school, but this is an indication. This is a very good indication of what is wrong. So I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with my man right here. I'm going to bring you down and sit you next to the police. It's a good thing today to get set next to the police, because it seems to me, since you think this is funny, there's something wrong with you. And you might as well get comfortable with them now when you're not really getting a felony. You're just getting pulled out of the assembly. And I don't care how many people I have to pull out of here, because you know what? I'm here to talk to every young man in this room that wants to be something. Every last one of you, and I'll be the last person standing here. I will give you my home phone number like I do everywhere, and mentor and talk and do anything I can help you to get a job, to get into college, anything you need. I'm here for them. And the ones of you that don't want to listen, I'm pulling you up front. I call it Penitentiary Row. Now you and you get up and come with me. Right there. Yeah, with the smile on your face. You're still smiling. Come on down. So I can get started and do what I need to do. Because I didn't come here to play romper room. Y'all are almost grown men. Nobody's got time for that this morning. I know I don't. Mr. Peoples and Mr. Payne didn't bring me here for this. But if you want to pull it, like I said, I'm from Chicago. Have a seat. You know what that means? That means that I'm from a place where they have the biggest detention center in the world. It is a $60 million structure, nicer than any black college, nicer than any high school. You know why? Because they got 500 black kids shoved upside. You want? Let's just get serious about this, because I didn't know this was going to be this kind of program. But since it is, let's just keep it real. How many of you, and I want everybody in the front row to turn around when I ask this question, and I hope I don't hear anybody laugh, because it is the biggest problem in America today for black people. How many of you have someone in your family in prison right now? Raise your hand. I want everybody in the front row to turn around and look. No. Let's not laugh about it, because there's nothing funny. Take a good look in this room. Everybody in here has somebody in their family locked up. That's not funny. Thank you, gentlemen. And I appreciate your cooperation, because you know what I know? You all pay attention to what you want to pay attention to. I was never stupid. I didn't go to the penitentiary because I was stupid. We're going to talk about that. I know you listen when you want to listen. You are intelligent. And when you are spoken to properly, you do listen. I appreciate it. And for those of you in this room who are not really listening, pay attention, because I'm going to give you some game today. And if you don't want to listen to me, you don't have to. You can go to the penitentiary. do 100 push-ups a day and 1,000 sit-ups, and go to the penitentiary. I had an email, I thought we were going to have, oh, there it is. I just want you, and I wanted my executive director, I wanted to show you, because I don't come here as a person that just pops into St. Louis and doesn't know what's going on. I called my friends during the riot, and I said, hey, I'm going down to Ferguson. You know what they said? Well, let's wait a couple of days and go. I said, no, I'm leaving tonight. I drove by myself, alone, to Ferguson. I came down there that night because I wanted to see what's going on. Don Lemon is a good friend of mine. He asked me if I wanted to be on TV. I said, no, I don't need to be on TV. I don't want someone to think that I'm down there to be on TV. I was walking down the street, and I met all of them. Said, we don't want to talk to you, man, out here. You know, you want to talk to us, you're going to have to come around the corner. I said, yeah, well, you'll dig this, brother. I got 10 years in the penitentiary. you looking to rob me, I'm going to take a couple of you with me. That's exactly what I told them. We went around the corner. We had a real conversation. Part of that conversation was, hey, we marching tonight. You know what I told them? Put down the marijuana and put down the weed. Because if you're going to march and you're going to protest, you don't want to be high when you're doing it. And let me tell you something else. My brother that's not paying attention, let me establish something with you now so we don't have to go through this, so I can get on with what I was brought here to do. When I go to a restaurant, son, I sit in the back of the restaurant so I can watch everything. There is a reason that I am still alive after 10 years of being incarcerated and being in the street. All that means that if you are in the back and you are not listening to me, young man, I'm going to come and get you and bring you back. Just so you get this message. That's why they brought me here. I don't want you to grow up. See, those are good brothers, but no one talked to them when they were in high school. They didn't get the message, so they're poor and broke. I don't want to be poor and broke. I'm a $10,000 to $20,000 an hour speaker with 9 felonies. You should perk up when I'm talking, because I know what I'm talking about. I want you to make money. Somebody worked on one of my cars so I could come down here today. Got a real fast car. And the brother said to me, man, I would love to have a car like you. You know what I said? Forget about me. Let me help you get a car like me. Black young men want nice things, and we're willing to kill for it. I just got done doing a diversity training for 300 police officers, all white, trying to explain to them where you're coming from. Black young men don't have anything but respect. And when you disrespect a young black man, he's willing to do anything because it's all you got. I understand that. I get it. When I was a kid, I had all kinds of potential. Some of you that are not getting good grades, some of you that are having problems in school are the smartest of young men. Jay-Z is not a billionaire in spite of selling drugs and growing up in the projects. He's a billionaire because he used to sell drugs. That's just the truth. 50 Cent took all that knowledge and game he had in the street and flipped the script. Flipped it. There's plenty of examples of what you can do. Some of us sit here and say, oh, I want to be Lil Wayne. I want to be a rapper. Lil Wayne has been writing raps since he was a little boy. He has discipline. He had a plan. Without a plan, you plan to fail. Without a plan, you plan to fail. When I was in junior high school, I used to sell all the gum and candy I could to my classmates in between class. I was an entrepreneur. When I went to Africa, as soon as I got off the plane, black man came up to me and said, welcome home, my brother. Every young black person over there was selling something, pens, pencils, candy. It's in you to do that. You just need to sell the right thing. You don't have to change anything. You need to redirect it. If you sell drugs, you can sell stocks, bonds, real estate. You can do anything your mind tells you to do. Einstein said, what's more important? Knowledge or imagination? Imagination, because it's infinite. It has no limit. Freshman year, I stole all the video recorders, and I went to an all-white school. Was the only black kid in the school. Got my class president to give me the keys to the school to steal all the video recorders. His parents made over $250,000 a year. By the time I was 15, I did my first burglary. By the time I was 16, I did my first armed robbery. By the time I was 16 and a half, I was going into the worst housing projects in Chicago, the Cabrini Green housing projects, training, recruiting young men to do armed robberies with me. It was on the front page of the paper. It says Chicago gang tied to area holdups. This is what I was doing when I was 16 years old. 60 detectives arrested me from all over the northwest suburbs. Had been watching me for months. Pulled me out of a Mercedes-Benz, put a shotgun to my head, knocked my tooth out of my mouth. Oh yeah, well, we can get to that, just hold that. No, well, since she put it up there, I just wanted you to know that also when I was in Ferguson meeting with them, I also met with the police officers that were there too. Because we got to start somewhere. And a lot of people said, why are you taking pictures with the police officers in Ferguson? Because we got to start somewhere. These police officers are here today. This man is running for mayor. He needs to be everybody's mayor in this room. Everybody doesn't want to lock you up. They want to hear from you. You deserve a chance. People are angry. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but I know a young black man died, and I know you're concerned about it because it was one of your brothers. And those people there, they matter. They're important. They matter. All of you matter. But it's what you do with your potential and your brain that's going to make a difference. I went to the penitentiary. Prison doesn't help anybody. Prison is a college for criminal activity, and you don't want to be there. Yeah, you really can't see this. There's some pictures of me when I was locked up in prison. You can come down later and see it. Let me show you, because there's some inappropriate stuff going on right here. I don't want to have to pull you up. You seem like a nice guy. You see me? That's when I was locked up in a cell, brother. You see what kind of shape I was in? You don't look like you're ready for prison for me, to me. I can kind of sniff that out. You don't look like you can, no, my brother. You don't look like you're prepared for that. Please don't make me have to pull you up front. I'd appreciate it. Because you're taking me away from some of these guys here that want to get to the money part of this. Because see, decisions in life, young man, decisions in life, you can decide to have a nice house. You can decide to have a nice girlfriend, a nice car, to live in a nice place. Or you can decide to have nothing. That choice is up to you. You can be anything you want to be. You can decide to get high every day. You can decide to drink. You can decide to join a gang. You can decide to carry a gun. You can decide to kill your brother. You can decide to quit school, or you can decide to be a doctor, a lawyer, a producer, an athlete. It's up to you. You make that decision. And some of you in this room are going to be broke. No, hold on a second. Please, because these are my guys. I love them. I can handle them. They are my friends. Some of us are just, most of you in this room are right with me. We have some people in here who just are immature and don't know what to do, and it's okay. Those are the ones that are dying. Those are the ones that are going to be on welfare, but we got to love everybody in here. I don't want to kick anybody out, because you know what? All of us in here can make it. I went to the penitentiary. When I got out, I came out with a degree in counterfeiting, a degree in drug dealing, a degree in forgery. I made $40 million worth of Visa Gold cards. Some of the people locked up with me or on the case with me were black like me. Some of them were Hispanic. Some of them were white. Most of them were all college educated. United States Secret Service came to me and they said, Victor, if you give the machine that you printed the cards the names of everybody involved, your inside source at Visa headquarters, you can go free. We'll just let you go. All I can tell you is all 14 of my friends got probation. I was the only one that went off to federal prison because I said, I did it. I'm taking responsibility for it. That's why the name of my book is A Breed Apart, because my lawyer said I was a breed apart, because in 30 years he only knew one person to do that. Now let me tell you something. You don't know anybody in this room that's going to go to federal prison for you, which means you better not get in trouble, because when you get in trouble with your buddies, they're going to draw a roadmap to his office, and you're going to go to the penitentiary and they're going to put you underneath it. My advice to you is don't do it. Because I haven't seen a tough guy come through this room. Not one. In the last school I went to, I brought one of my friends with me that was in the penitentiary with me. That is 320 pounds of steel. Stood right next to me. To give you an idea of what's going to happen. Because let me tell you, there's a young kid in the juvenile detention center in Chicago. Let me tell you a story like my friend Bernie Mac used to say. And I'll tell you how I met him. Good guy. Let me tell you a story. Young kid didn't want to listen and pay attention. Met him in the juvenile detention center. Then he went off, got arrested for stealing TV in somebody's house, and they put him in Cook County Jail. Was surprised. When you go to Cook County Jail, you go in there with everybody. And there happened to be a guy from Stateville that killed somebody over a piece of fruit. Pay attention, focus in, son. Kill him over a piece of fruit, if you can imagine. When you kill somebody in prison, they take you out of prison, bring you back to the county jail to adjudicate you all over again. Well, this young kid, 18 years old, when they put him in the county jail, young man, pay attention. When they put him in the county jail, they put him in the cell with that man who had been locked up for 25 years. That man wanted something from that young boy that he didn't want to give. The young boy fought back, but the man killed him. This isn't Scared Straight. I'm telling you this so you know. If it happens to you, that's your problem, not mine. You've been told. I got arrested and I went to federal prison. Here's something you need to know, because sometimes I meet people and say, hey, I don't want to work. I don't want a job, Mr. Woods. I don't want to work. I'm too good to work in McDonald's. I'm too fly. Oh, okay. Everybody works in prison. You work for 10 and 20 cents an hour. You've been there 10 years, you might get 25 cents an hour. Yes, that's what prisons are like. You're going to go to work every day. I didn't want to go to work. When you don't go to work, you go to solitary confinement. So I went to solitary confinement, in and out. You know, no, that's okay, because I'm hearing. See, the guy who's talking while I'm talking, this is the guy that goes to the penitentiary and loses his life. This is the person that goes out here and gets a gun, does something real stupid, shoots a girl, and then, you know, the easiest person for me to talk to is a kid 15 years old that took a gun, missed, and shot a little girl. He's so sorry, because someone's not paying attention. That's why I don't want you to laugh when we see somebody not paying attention, because we're all in this together. We can't separate ourselves from somebody who's stuck on stupid. You got to talk to them and you got to bring them in. We got to stop laughing at each other, because we're better than that. We're better. That's why you all are listening now. If some of your teachers were in here right now, you know what they'd say? I can't believe they're listening. You know why they can't believe it? Because they don't know what to say to you. If I had to go to Iraq right now and fight, and they said I could take 200-300 kids with me, do you think I would go to a charter school and go get them? Do you think I would go to a high-performing school? I'd go get you! Because you know how to make a way out of no way. You know how to make a way out of no way. Why are some of us angry? You know why you're angry? Because some of us came to school and don't have any money. And some of the people who are trying to tell you what to do or how to act, if they didn't have any money in their pocket, they would be acting just like you. It's hard to come to school when you didn't have enough to eat. It's hard to come to school when somebody in the audience, parents, were able to buy them shoes or buy them a certain outfit and you don't have it. I understand your frustration. And just why I'm talking, it's a couple people in here, real quiet, that are asleep. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to try to wake up anybody up, because let me tell you about game. You let the sleep remain sleep. I never sleep on the plane. I see people sleep at the airport. People sleep on the plane. I see everything. I can't go to sleep on the plane. I know what might or could happen on the plane. I was with the chief of police that arrested me when I was a kid, Detective Arati. We're good friends now. We walked into Walgreens after we had to do a big presentation in Florida. When we walked in, he looked at me and said, Victor, you still scanning? Because I was looking at everybody in the room just like you. Because that's what we do. There's not that much difference between me and you. Got to be the bad guy and the good guy. Remember the movie Heat? You had Al Pacino and you had Robert De Niro. Two separate things. I'm always paying attention. I went to solitary confinement for 9 months. And I'm glad you're quiet so we can move along. Because y'all are smarter than me having to come in here and yell and scream. But sometimes it's necessary to settle it down. I appreciate your respect, because I expect this from you. All over the country, when people say young black men aren't intelligent, they need to be in jail, I'm the one who says, hey, you know what, give them a chance. You don't know their story. If you give them a chance, you can do anything, and we've proven that. Young man on your phone, come on up front, man, because it's not fair to them. No, it's just no matter what I say, apparently. So we're going to make you the example. Yes, you, son, come on up. Come on up, son. Usually I take the phone. We're going to spare your phone. Pull your pants up. That's right. Thank you. Come on down. And maybe Mr. Peoples or somebody will invest in a belt for you. Right here. It's not funny. See, this is tantamount to someone going to jail, son. That's why our neighborhoods are in the condition they are. We're going to laugh every time somebody goes to jail. This is your brother. This is your brother. I'm not mad at him. I want him to pay attention. I've come from out of town with some information for us. This is a little bit different than what you get at school every day. He's on his cell phone. He's missing out. I don't want him in jail. I want him to grow up. He might think differently after he's heard this. Do not laugh at him. This is part of the problem in our community. It's not funny. It's not funny that Whitney Houston's daughter is on a ventilator right now either. It's not funny. We are an endangered species. And quite frankly, since we're going to talk about it, this city got the attention of the world. It's not about the adults in St. Louis, it's about all of you. Who is the most important people in St. Louis? You, young man. Come on up front. Yeah, you. I'm just going to do this all day because I guess you don't want to listen. You want to try me? Come on up front. Yeah, you. Who's talking while I'm talking? Come and sit down. And I guess it's going to get so full that we got to put you up on the stage. No problem. Got another seat for you. Not mad at you, just want to make sure you get it. And came to school in your pajamas. Now don't get me started. I'm in solitary confinement for 9 months. People ask me, when I began to change. I got an infection in my eye. You can't get good medical attention in prison either, son. You got a toothache, they pull it out with a pair of pliers. You can't get good medical attention in prison. You don't want to go. I'm in there for 9 months. Pink eye, solitary confinement, it got worse and worse. Infection in my eye, almost went blind. Captain Wayman, a white captain there, kind of took a liking to me, he liked me. Came back into solitary confinement and saw that I was almost blind and brought an optometrist in to see me. An optometrist is an eye doctor. The eye doctor came in and gave me some medication. He said if he hadn't been there a week later, I would have been blind. People ask me when I began to change. When you become sick, young man, you, right here. You, right here. I'm sorry we have to do this for all of you that are really listening. I'm sorry, but I have to do it. I have to do it because it's not funny. See, the eyes of the world for a period of time were all on your city. You're all the best that they have to offer, man. It's time to elevate your behavior. You can do better than that. See, a lot of people giving up on us. A lot of people say, well, why tell them? Why bother to tell them to pull their pants up? Why tell a young black boy he doesn't know how to speak properly? Why tell somebody they're not going to be able to get a job? See, I'm going to tell you the truth. I couldn't have come in here to speak if Mr. People said to me, hey, what you gonna come talk about? And I said, oh man, look, man, I used to be a GD gangster disciple, you dig? I'm coming to St. Louis to talk to the shorty. Man, you can't get a job doing that. I'm not even telling people to pull their pants up anymore. You know what I'm telling people? Know when to pull your pants up. Hopefully you're not so stupid that you go to a job interview with the crack of your behind showing, and some of us are that dumb. Oh no, some of us are that dumb. I don't want you to be stuck on what I call stupid. Let me move on. When you become sick and tired with being sick and tired, that's when you will change the condition of your life. And I was sick and tired of being in the condition I was in. I started giving speeches in prison about what to do as a prisoner so that while you were in, what to do while you're in so when you get out you can stay out. I didn't like being in prison. And I'm glad it's just all men here in this room, because I'm telling you right now, some of you will be in prison in St. Louis. That is the truth. I can see it on your faces. And some of you won't. Some of you are going to come up to me when I'm done and say, Mr. Woods, I need your card. Where are my cards? Somebody's going to come up to me and say, I need one of these. Or I guarantee you, somebody's going to say, can you give me a recommendation for college? Can you help me get a job? Somebody's going to come up to me and say, hey, you know, my dad's in prison. I need some help. Somebody's going to come to me like one kid came and said, I'm selling drugs right now, Mr. Woods, to keep the lights on in my house so my little baby sister is warm in the winter and I need some help. I don't want to go to jail. Somebody's going to come up to me in this room and really want some help, and I'm going to give it to you. That's why I'm standing here today. And I'm not going to let anybody who's stuck on stupid interrupt that for you, because you need it. Now, it's not easy. It's one thing for somebody to come in here and say, hey, everybody's going to make it. It's going to be all right. Everybody knows that's not true. I'm not really a motivational speaker. I'm a reality speaker. I've spoken at Disney World. I've spoken at Fordham University in New York. I've spoken to corporations. I've spoken to the United States Environmental Protection Agency. I've spoken all over the United States. But I specialize in this. I understand this. Psychiatrists said to me in prison before I get out, because they want to ask you some questions before you get out. Sometimes they ask some people, what you going to do when you get out of prison? I'm going to get out and kill everybody in the house. You stay right here. You ain't ready. It's true. Guy asked me that. Name was Mr. Ramson. He said, Victor, what are you going to do when you get out of prison? I mean, what are your plans, buddy? What do you plan to do? I said, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to be on TV. I'm going to have a movie made about me. He said, that's not realistic for you, Victor. I mean, my God, you have 9 felonies. Who's going to listen to you? It's not what other people, and remember this, I'm giving you the money-making portion of this. Now, I like to talk about being successful. I was ashamed that this had to start off the way that it did, but now that I have your attention, we can get started, and I can begin to teach you something to transform your life, to put some money in your pocket, since that's what you're concerned about. See, what I didn't tell you was to remember this. When you're running around acting a fool, drinking, getting high, rolling blunts, just remember, because when you commit crimes when you're high, remember the police are not high when they're riding around their patrol cars. They're going to catch you. So anytime, see, I know because I'm from Chicago. 90% of all the young men at the detention center that I talked to were high and drunk when they did the crime. We get high and drunk and put on rap music and then get in our car. That's why we're shooting into houses and killing people's grandmothers. Somebody did that in Chicago. Grandmother answered the door and got shot in the head. Now, I know that boy didn't mean to shoot a grandmother. Who would do that? That's not in us to do that. We don't do that kind of stuff. But someone must have been high shooting out of a car with his buddies, and we kill innocent little girls. Just remember, when you go to prison, there's no women in prison. Oh no, all prison is 18 to 35-year-old young men who don't have access to a woman. That's where all that anger comes from in prison. You don't want to be here. That is a decision that you can make. You can make that decision right now. You can decide to go because you're going to go. I was a master criminal. Master criminal. If I went, oh, you can believe you going. Because most of you in this room couldn't even comprehend making $40 million worth of Visa Gold Cards, even what it took for me to get inside Visa headquarters to get the information to do it. I did a training for the entire St. Louis Police Department, all the rookies. I work with police departments around this country, and believe me, they're prepared. So if you stuck on super, you go into the penitentiary, and they're going to give you 10, 15 years first time out. It's not like 30 years ago you went, you got out, you went back again. No, no, no. First time out, you're going to get 10 or 15 years. One felony, your whole life can be over. I have 9 felonies, 6 armed robbery convictions, 1 unlawful use of a weapon, 1 counterfeiting conspiracy charge with the Secret Service. I couldn't get a job at Walmart, but if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. When I was in prison, I had a plan. I had a plan. I started writing letters to people in prison so I could get out. You know, I spoke at Morehouse College Business School, and I would recommend that all of you check out Morehouse in a black college, because they got beautiful girls there, great opportunity to have an education. You can get out of St. Louis. You can go to college. Don't let anybody make you think that college is beyond you. You don't have to be so smart to go to college. If it was so difficult to get there, there wouldn't be one on every corner. I went to Northwestern University, one of the top 10 universities in the country. I bargained with life for a penny, but life would pay no more. However, I begged an evening as I counted my scanty score. For life is but an employer, it will pay you what you ask, but once you set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I work for menial hire only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life, life would have surely paid. That's from Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. I read 300 books in prison. Knowledge is power. Mike Tyson, when he got out, was on the Larry King show. Larry King asked him, you have any advice for anybody? Mike Tyson said, read. Everything you want to do is in a book. You can be anything you want to be. People told Oprah Winfrey, you're too fat and too black to be on television. She makes $100 million a year because she thought she could. As a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. When that man told me, see, it's not about me. This isn't about me, it's about you. See, people who walk around and say, oh, look what I got. Those people aren't your friends. I want you to have what I have and beyond. That psychiatrist tried to tell me what I could do. No one rises to low expectations. There's people that look at you and try to tell you what you can be and what you can be. Telling you you are nothing. You tell them what you want to do and they look at you and tell you you can't make it. Yes, you can. But you have to have guts and courage to do that. Someone told 50 Cent he was going to be nothing. Somebody told Nelly he was going to be nothing. Mary J. Blige was an alcoholic at one time. Aretha Franklin was an unwed mother and a high school dropout at one time. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Let me repeat that. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. If you're broke right now, you live in a house with roaches, rats, you don't have a washer and dryer in your house, you're in an excellent place to get started, because greatness comes out of adversity. Malcolm X trained himself in prison. You can wake up, it doesn't matter where you come from. As a matter of fact, the people who have done the most in this country have come from nothing. Bill Clinton came out of a broken home in Arkansas with an alcoholic stepfather. The people that laughed at me and told me I wouldn't make it, I was in this magazine with the former president of the United States. I remember I told my mother, Mom, I made it, I'm in the magazine with the president of the United States. My mother said, that's no big deal, he's in more trouble than you were in. But I made it because I thought that I could. Now, what happened to me is the same thing that's going to happen to you when you have a dream or an idea. I told people I wanted to be an author, nobody would publish me, nobody would give me a chance. So what are you going to do? Because nobody's going to tap you on the show. You know why everybody plays the lottery all the time? Because that's the only way they're going to see themselves to get any money, because they're too lazy. If you don't have a work ethic, if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to make it. 70 rejection notices I got from New York with people telling me I wasn't good enough, so I went out and wrote my own book. People said, where did you learn how to do that? I was a D and F student in high school, I started my own newspaper. They had to bring the police in to figure out who did it. Nobody thought it was the little black boy in the back of the class. Some of you in this room are brilliant and can do anything, and some of you get S&Ds in school, don't even want to be here. Doesn't mean you're stupid. I sold 50,000 copies of this book myself for $25. I said that at a school recently, and one little black boy in the school counted the money. He counted it. He knew how much money. That's well over $1 million I did before I ever got published. You know where I got that idea from? 50 Cent. I was in prison and was looking at what they were doing. That's why he put together the blueprint. Not so you could run around with your pants hanging down off your behind. He put it in the blueprint to teach you. Ice-T, the original gangster. When's the last time you saw Ice-T in trouble? He lives with Coco. When's the last time? You think he's going to jail? When's the last time? One brother said to me, he said, oh, 50 Cent is still selling drugs. Really? He's selling vitamin water. See, it's time to wake up and stop being stuck on stupid. Your competition, and I'm going to be honest with you, each morning in Africa when the sun comes up, a lion knows that it must run faster than the fastest gazelle, or it will starve to death. And each morning in Africa, a gazelle knows that it must run faster than the fastest lion, or it will get killed. It doesn't matter whether you are a lion or gazelle, when the sun comes up in Africa, you had better be running. Competition. Your competition isn't here. And don't you let anybody make you think that. We're way smarter than, oh, pull your pants up and behave yourself. This is 215. I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, there's a black man and a black family in the White House, not for much longer, but it should have meant something to you because it just shows what we can do. The day of buffoonery is over. Your competition is in Connecticut. Your competition is in Lake Forest, Illinois, Beverly Hills. You got some people to compete with. When you open your mouth, you never get a second time to make a first impression. Let me repeat that. You never get a second time to make a first impression. Never. What comes out of your mouth matters. How you dress matters. It does matter. Don't you let anybody sell you short. You're better than that. And every entertainer that you know, even the ones that rap crazy, man, they can think. Listen to them talk and articulate. They're trying to show you something. Man, we're a great, powerful people. All those young men, those people that I saw, man, powerful young men, strong young men, angry. But they didn't have an education, man. They missed out. Nobody drops out of school. You drop into the penitentiary. Man, when you believe in yourself, you can do anything. Anything. I sold so many copies of that book, I got a book deal with the biggest publishing company in the world. Now, if you don't really understand what that means, it means that I represent less than 1% of the population of the world. The same people that published Hillary Clinton, the same people that published Conrad Hilton, the same people that published John F. Kennedy published me because I thought I could. I had to sit down in a boardroom full of people that did not look like me. I closed a book deal in less than 24 hours. Shaka Khan endorsed this book. Bernie Mac endorsed this book. The vice president of Sony Music endorsed this book. And everybody doesn't like Victor Woods because I just became too successful. I just did a conference, 5,000 people. Everybody in that audience didn't like me because I've done too well. I made people look in the mirror. You're not going to stop me, put me down, shut me down. I'm too smart for that. So are you. Don't you let anybody make you think or you act in a way that people think you are stupid and ignorant. You are better than that. That's why I pulled them up front, because they're better than that. That kind of stuff is the reason that girl Frances Cologne is dead. Last year, late last year, I met with Drake's CFO. Told you, wanted to go to Hollywood. I'm a hard worker. Want to have a movie made about me. He's a great person to play me in the movie. As a man or woman thinketh, so is he or she. If I'm doing this, what can you do? What can you do? Anything. Anything you want. Man, I love giving this message. Man, I wanted to go to Cook County Jail. You know what they said? We don't have any money. Really? 15,000 people in there that look like you. But nobody had any money for me to go in and give this message to you and make you listen like this. You know why? Because they don't care. That's why I like this guy. He didn't have to come here. He didn't have to come here. This is a 99% white audience. White police, black police, people in this room, they care. So a lot of people who don't care, and they should. They're paid to care, but they don't. You know what I'm talking about. Well, I went in Cook County Jail anyway. Went in there for free. Guess who I met? Bernie Mac's mother. She heard me speak. A week later, I was in his house. He told me when he was a little boy how people said he was ugly, he was poor. Nobody wanted to talk to him. He lived in the basement of his future wife's house. He drove a Wonder Bread truck. He had to sacrifice. Man, I got out of prison, I was in the halfway house, I was broke. I didn't have any money. I had to take the bus for the first time. I know what it feels not to have any chips in your pocket, to be broke, to have a donut and split it with 3 friends, man. Can't go to McDonald's. And you know why black young men are killing each other, man? Because we want to impress a girl. We'll put earrings in our ears that aren't real. We shine in our gym shoes. We'll do anything, man. We're stealing cars in Chicago and carjacking people so we can take a girl out on a date. That's part of the frustration because somebody in the school or someone in the neighborhood got the prettiest girl and he's selling drugs. And you want her too. And you can't have her, so you start selling drugs. Half the trouble you get in is involving a young black girl. It gets greater later. You don't have to sacrifice your life for that. And let me tell you something else. Don't walk away from stupid people. Run away from stupid people. Let me repeat that. Don't walk away from stupid people. Run away from stupid people. Birds of a feather flock together. Somebody asked me, oh, Victor, do you have the same friends? No, I don't. My friends are dead or back in the penitentiary. I don't do felony favors. I get into a car with somebody, you got to do the same thing I do. Are there any guns in the car? Is anybody driving with weed? Anybody got cocaine in the car? Because I don't want to get in the car with you. I've been out of prison 18 years. I haven't been in trouble in over 30 years. I got pulled over in Sarasota, where I was living in Florida. Police pulled me over. Said, looks like you're driving a little erratic, sir. Have you been drinking? I said, no, officer, I haven't. I got back from a speaking engagement. I'm tired. Would you mind getting out? And I got out and had me stand on one foot and walk, and I failed that test. He said, we're going to have to give you the sobriety test. Will you blow into this machine? You know what it came up? 0. Because I don't drink and drive. I'm not getting in trouble again because I'm going to Hollywood. I'm going to have an opportunity to make a movie because I thought I could. And if I can, you can. Everybody in this room has a dream. If I go up to a little kid and say, what do you want to be when you grow up, son? What are your plans? What would you like to do? Nobody says, I want to go to the penitentiary. I want to go to jail. Can I help you, sir? Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, man.
You're good.
Yeah, because you moving like, you know, I don't know what's going on.
Thanks for bringing attention. That's all right. All right.
I guess the police are here, I'm safe, but being from Chicago, you never know. That man's... I'm just trying to make sure we're on same page. As a man or woman, think it's so is he, she. Now, let me break something down to you because I want you to understand. I'm only telling you this because you're smart. I'm treating you like any audience I've ever had because you need to hear this. You have to get started somewhere. The main reason people aren't successful is fear of failure. Fear of failure is the main reason people are not successful. I wrote this letter when I was in prison. Just read a little bit of it. It was written March 5th, 1993. To Mr. Daniel Swoop, let me begin this letter by applauding your efforts in gang and crime prevention. There should be more programs like yours. My name is Victor Woods. I am currently incarcerated in a federal penitentiary in Oxford, Wisconsin. I first learned of your program through a newspaper article. I was very impressed with your efforts. The reason that I am writing to you is because I have changed my life. I was writing people in prison asking for work. Whatever you're looking for is looking for you. If you're looking for a gun is looking for you. If you're looking for trouble, trouble is looking for you. If you're looking for a job is looking for you. If you're looking for a good friend is looking for you. All you have to do is open your mouth and tell somebody, somebody will help you. Just don't give up. Every step of the way, somebody tried to stop me. First time I wanted to go to school and speak, principal said, you can't come to my school, you've been to jail. All the people that were supposed to be in place to help me did not help me. I understand how you feel. I've been there. But I didn't give up. I refuse to give up. You will not stop me. And every step of the way, even that police officer that had a loaded shotgun on my head. Oh yeah. Oh trust. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Hey. 10 years, hey, young man. 10 years in the penitentiary, work out every single day, take care of myself. I'm lightning fast. It's funny because I was getting ready to go to the bathroom and Rocky, the security guy up there, he said to me, hey, Mr. Woods, I want to take you to the staff bathroom. You can go in the faculty bathroom. I said, no, I can go in the bathroom. He said, well, you don't know what you might find in there. I said, I don't care. I had to go to the bathroom in a maximum security prison where anything could happen. I did not have any problem going into that. As a matter of fact, when I was in Tennessee, I talked to 4,000 staff members, and I asked to go to the county jail. So the sheriff brought me in so I could speak to the inmates there. And I had to go to the bathroom, and they were going to take me out of the pod to go use the bathroom. I said, no, just give me the cell. I'll just go in there because I was used to it. Bottom line, you can be whatever you want to be. Part of the reason that some of us aren't successful or have problems, it's not your fault. I don't come in here thinking I'm better than you and I know. Too many people do that. They think they know your story. They don't know anything about you and they don't want to know. You know what I just told a bunch of teachers and administrators? You want to know what's wrong with some of the people that you're talking about? Do this. Go knock on their front door and see how they live. See how you would like it. It's cold outside. Somebody in this room right now doesn't have heat. Somebody in this room right now has, their family is turning on the oven to keep warm. Somebody's got a space heater to keep warm because it's cold in your house. I understand. Some of us don't have a washer and dryer at home. Let me just keep it real, because I don't come here to waste your time. I'm in the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center. Dr. Judith Adams, who was the principal there, said, I need you to talk to a young man that's been here 3 times and is being disruptive. Can you talk to him, Mr. Woods? I said, sure. I went and talked to him. I said, man, why are you back, man? What's wrong? And why are you interrupting what the teacher's doing? You know what he said? He said, Mr. Woods, my mother was at work and her boyfriend stays at the house with me and my sisters. And he wakes up in the morning with no clothes on and walks into the kitchen and makes food and walks right by my little sisters while they're watching TV. And I stood up for my sisters and did what I needed to do. All I could do is hug that young man. That's all I could do. What was I supposed to say? Some of you all have been through stuff that nobody has an answer for. Some of you have been abused, disrespected. Every day of your life, somebody has made you feel like you're nothing, so you just gave up. A lot of people say, I don't understand why those kids pull their pants down and show their behind. You know why? Because society has shown their behind to you. So you just figure, you know what? I'm just going to pull my pants down. I don't got nothing coming anyway. But don't believe that lie. If you can just take all the misery and pain of what you've been through, take it and use it. Take the pain and misery that you have been through. Take it. Take the anger. Don't spend your whole life. Don't be angry. Don't do that. No, no, no. Donald Trump, billionaire, wrote a book, Think Big and Kick Ass. That's right. That's the book he wrote. I bought it for that reason. Oh, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Don't you watch CNN or Fox TV? Those people on television are angry. Angry. You can be angry. Take that anger and do something positive with it. Somebody loves you. My grandmother loved me. I dedicated my book to my grandmother. Somebody loves you too. Someone cares about you. Mr. Peoples? Mr. Peoples cares about you. That's why I'm here. Mr. Payne cares about you. I met them. Not here in St. Louis. I met them in another state where they were talking about you. And he said, could you come to my school? I got some great young men in that room that need to hear your message. And you know what? You proved you were great. Look at how you all have paid attention to me. Just don't do it for me. Do it when you go back to class, because you're going to need it. Because what are your options? Because if you don't get an education, if you don't have a plan, the state of St. Louis has a plan for you, I promise you. If you don't get it here, they're going to lock you up. And you know why? Maybe you don't want to go to jail. But in 18 years, when you turn 18 and you don't go to college, what are you going to do to make money? You're going to have to steal. It's hard out there. People are coming out of college with a college degree and $100,000 of debt and can't get a job. They can't get work. People going to college with no felonies that don't look like you can't get work. You're not going to get work either. I'm just here to tell you, it's a dirty secret. CNN did a special on that. All these people running off to college can't get jobs. You know why? Because they were drunk, high, and doing all kinds of stuff in school that they shouldn't have been doing in college. So when they got out, only the cream of the crop, only the best of the best. Shakespeare said, to thy own self be true, and it must follow the night to day. Thou canst then not be false to any man. The sun never said to the land, you owe me something. Pay attention to this. The sun never said to the earth, you owe me something. It's the greatest love affair that has ever took place in history, and it has shined all over the world. Never stopped. The greatest love you should have is for yourself. You are the most important person in this room. And if you've got a friend or someone around you and you have told them twice to turn themselves around, run away from stupid people, because as sure as I'm standing in this room, some of us in this room will be in prison and are going to go to jail and going to have miserable lives, and some of you in this room are going to go on and do great things. The choice is up to you. I could have chosen to stay in prison, but instead I chose to write a book. I could have chosen to go back and make credit cards. I could have chosen to go back and do armed robberies. I could have chosen to go back and be a drug dealer. I chose to be a speaker and never, ever, ever give up. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And to all you young men that are up here, I didn't bring you up here because I wanted to embarrass you. I just wanted to make sure you got the message, because I don't want you going down the road that I went down. Do we got time? Do we got time for any questions for any of these young men?
I do.
What's that? Yes. Yes. And let me just say this. Let me just say this. Once we take a couple questions, excuse me, young man. I do appreciate that you were listening to me. You've been very respectful. But just, the point is that you will, excuse me, young man with the glasses. The point is that you can carry this, hopefully, back to class, back to your neighborhood, and back into your life. Not just to hear me, man, and respect me, man. Respect what I'm talking about when I'm going in. I wrote some other books, too, called Successfully Achieving Your Vision. I'm going to talk to whoever's at school in charge to make sure that some of y'all get these books, because this was the plan that I put in the paper about how I turned myself around with perseverance, sacrifice, commitment, work ethic, leadership. Any questions for me, anybody? Who's got a question for me? Young man in the back, come on down. You come on down, you take the mic and introduce yourself to everybody and then ask me a question. Yeah, come on down. Come on down. Before the bell rings in 4 minutes. Okay. You must be an athlete the way you move. Are you an athlete at the school? No? Well, you should be. What's your name?
Pierre.
Nice name. Nice to meet you, Pierre. What's your question?
Why was it Bloods and Crips in that picture together like you had?
Well, you know what? I really didn't. No, that's a fair question. I didn't ask them what organization or whether they were Bloods and Crips. Apparently, at least those young men, if they were Bloods and Crips, maybe they understood that they're black first. And maybe it doesn't matter whether you're a disciple or a vice lord or a Crip or a Blood, that you're all in the same boat together. And so if you know anything about these gangs, in prison, all the gang chiefs are all friends. They're not fighting with one another because they all have the same problem trying to get out of prison. You're not in a gang, are you, son? You don't want to join one, do you? That's good. Glad to hear that. Any other question? Come on over. Hope it's intelligent. What's your name?
Reggie.
Nice to meet you, Reggie. Speak up.
When you got out of jail, where did you start from?
That is an excellent question. That's what I'm talking about. What an excellent question. It means you were listening. I appreciate it. Oh, the question was, how did I get started when I got out of prison? And the truth of the matter, one of my best friends who's on the cover of that smaller book was a lawyer. His uncle was a prominent lawyer downtown Chicago, and when I was writing my book, I started doing some work in the law office for him, shepherdizing cases. And I didn't make much money, but I didn't care because I knew I had a plan, and if I worked my plan, I taught for over 1.5 years and never got paid. If you're good at something, you work hard at it, and you keep going and going and going. It won't happen overnight, but you will get it. You just never give up. Anybody else? Last question, come on, before the bell rings. And if there's any other time today, if you talk to Mr. Peoples, if you really want to talk to me in private, if there's something you need to say to me, talk to them and I'll stick around and I will talk to some of you if you want me to. I will, because somebody in here right now has got a personal problem and I'm sure you don't want to come up here and let everybody know. I will stay here and talk to you. And my home phone number on my cell is on those cards. You can call me. This phone rings all day with young black men from all over the United States who have called me to say everything from I'm about to commit a crime to I need a lawyer to I've got a serious problem. I'm here for you. Go ahead.
My name's Amarius, and when you was 15, 16, what was your situation that caused you to do everything?
Excellent question. Ran away from home, wasn't living at home anymore, started stealing bikes, then went to the grocery store, started stealing food to eat, and it just escalated from there. So, very good question. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. All right, well, I'm gonna turn the microphone, but I want to say thank you to really Mr. Peoples Mr. Peoples for all he's done, Mr. Payne, my agent, my executive director, and all these people who took time out of their morning to come. Because, hey, there's still there is still some problems in St. Louis that we got to work through. But today, something very special happened. And you know what you can do? You can come down here and shake some of these people's hands. You can take a step in your life and come down here and shake some of these people's hands. Because they didn't come here for me. They came here for you. And if some of you all have the courage, you should come down here and meet some of these people because it's one step closer to getting a job. Because let me tell you something, young man. I want you to remember this. I'm the keep it real guy. The person who is going to hire you for a job probably does not look like you. And until you become comfortable doing this, you will be broke. My agent looks like this. The people at the publishing company look like this. My executive director looks like this. You've got to learn how to get along with people who do not look like you to make money. The people who pay Jay-Z and Beyonce look like this. Clive Davis, who put all of these entertainers on in the music business, they don't look like you. The people who pay Oprah Winfrey don't look like you. The people who play and run the NFL don't look like you. You've got to take that step. Come down and meet some of these people. Thank you very much.
We are following breaking news. Chicago police confirm 2 little girls have been shot in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood this afternoon. One has since died.
Shot and killed a baby. You can't blame this on a police officer. You can't say that this is about criminal justice reform. This is about some people carrying some weapons who shot up a car with an 8-year-old baby.